Evening, everyone. We'll start the student representatives updates and presentations. I know that school committee woman Barbara Gresham is on line remote. And Barbara, we can wish you a speedy recovery on your surgery and physical therapy. I do not know if school committee woman Denise Hurst again is going to be remote, if she's on. Okay, we'll go to Chestnut Talented and Gifted Tag. Kemi. They're on. They're in the house. They're in the house. And supported by Rosa Santiago, who's the Parent and Community Engagement Coordinator Tag. Kemi Guzman, Noah Maldonado Rivera, and Paris Lowe are in the house. So I'll let Ms. Santiago, if you'd like to do a little bit of an introduction, and we look forward to listening to your students.
Hello, good evening, everyone. My cherubs are here. Woo! Chestnut Tag! And my DHS kids. Woo! I am the Family and Community Engagement Coordinator for both Chestnut Tag and Discovery High School, and it is a blessing. It is amazing, and I love these kids. They are rock stars. Wait till you hear from them.
Thank you very much, Ms. Santiago.
Thank you. Let's start with Akemi. Akemi's our 6th grade representative.
Akemi, you're up.
All right.
And Ms. Santiago's excited. Ms. Santiago's excited, as we are too.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Akemi Guzman, and I'm a 6th grader at Chestnut Tag. The reason I chose Chestnut Tag is because my older brother goes there. He is in 8th grade. I love the staff here because they are very welcoming and accepting of everyone, and there's no judgment. Chestnut Tag is a diverse school where I was exposed to other students with varying backgrounds. I learned about diverse cultures from my classmates. There are also a lot of things to do at Tag. We can stay after school every day with staff for extra help or to be a part of a club. There's something for everyone. We had our first school dance last week, and my friends and I had a lot of fun. Our guidance counselor, our assistant principal, and some of our teachers danced with us, and it was great. The environment at Tag makes me feel safe. I know that if I ever had a problem, I could count on my teachers and my counselors to help me. Overall, Chestnut Tag is a great school with amazing, creative, and unique people, and I look forward to attending it for the next 2 years.
Nice job, Ms. Guzman. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Who's up next?
I love you, Akemi. Next will be Noah Maldonado, our 7th grade representative.
Okay, and we're joined by attorney, school committeeman Peter Murphy also now. Noah, you're up.
Hi. Hello, I'm Noah.
How you doing,
Hello,
Noah? You're good.
Hello, I am Noah Maldonado, and I am a 7th grade student at Chestnut Tag Middle School. I will be speaking about the school. The staff at Chestnut Tag Middle School are all nice. They all teach me and my classmates to the best of their ability. The counselors are always ready to help any student feeling down, and the teachers do their best to support kids too. All the teachers set the students up for success in life and are not too stern at the same time. Teachers like to joke around with the kids from time to time, but when it is time to work, the students and the teachers are ready to go. I feel that the teachers' attitudes towards the students helps keep it a positive work environment. Teachers give students a chance to catch up on some work or get some extra tutoring in by having after-school tutoring 1 day of the week for every class. I have seen that as the years progress, students have been becoming increasingly positive. I assume this is because the positive work environment allows them to make friends, and the teachers' teaching ways have allowed the students to learn and their grades to get better. I have noticed that this school has a diversity of staff with different ethnicities and different personalities. I feel that this is a hugely important thing in the school. After school activities such as You Are Not Alone or Yana also give students a way to talk and make friends after school. Along with having something to look forward to in the week, students are also motivated to strive for the best, to be accepted into the fun after-school activities. In conclusion, Chestnut Tag Middle School is a positive, diverse, and all-around great school.
Nice job, Noah. Okay, springtime in
And
Paris.
last but not least, our Paris Lowe.
Okay, Paris.
I'm still opening my document. Okay. Good evening. My name is Paris Lowe, and I'm an 8th grader at Student Chestnut at Chestnut Tag. TAG is a high-achieving school that promotes students to succeed in their academics by directly using their talents and academics to succeed. Teachers often encourage students to do their best and support them through one-on-one time or during a whole class. Teachers also use students' different ways of learning, such as how some students prefer to watch videos while others prefer to read text. The student also helps Peers also help one another academically and emotionally by giving each other support when doing work that can be somewhat stressful or just supporting them with personal problems. However, for me, I especially favor that there are selected days that you can receive additional help from teachers after school, then have transportation provided home. Other than amazing academic support provided at Chestnut Tag, the school offers extracurricular activities and various events throughout the school year, such as volleyball, open house, and school dances. This allows students to improve their social involvement with peers and learn how to build and maintain relationships.
Nice job, Paris. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Santiago. Impact Prep, Chestnut Middle School's in the house. They're supported by Ms. Quinones and Soraya Benjamin, Lesliana Vargas, Lola May are in the house. Ms. Quinones, Mirtha?
Hello. Let's see, who would like to go first?
They're all jumping for joy on that one. How about Soraya? You ready, Soraya?
Hi, this is Mrs. Statham from Impact as well. How's everyone doing tonight?
Good, how are you?
Here, doing well, doing well. Soraya is not here, so we can start with our 7th grade representative, which is Leslie. You can go ahead.
Okay, Lesliani, thank you.
Good evening. My name is Leslie and I am part of the student committee at Impact Prep. I have been going to Impact Prep since middle school since 6th grade. Impact Prep is a school where the staff and teachers respect the students' opinions and respect who and what you want to be, such as being a part of the LGBTQ+ community, your culture, and beliefs. Impact also provides various kinds of programs for all kids that want to learn extracurricular activities. This benefits kids because it can help them develop their learning skills, such as their leadership skills. Impact provides 7 classes a day, also providing after-school days for those who need the extra help, whether it's for math, science, English, etc. Being a leader to me means setting goals and accomplishing them. Leaders are people who do not wait to be told what to do. When our school produces initiative ideas, they turn their visions into reality. For students looking for clear cultural diversity in the classroom and role models in their school, having a teacher from the same background can lead to deeper connections and more engaged learning. Becoming a student representative enables students to develop and strengthen leadership and learning skills. And also this helps us fellow students with their voice being heard and sharing experiences. Our staff set good examples and treat their students with respect. When us students are wrong, they will always try to call us out one-on-one. If the teachers do something wrong, the students will also try to do their best to call them out. Having staff like us, students help so much more knowing they can understand our point of view on anything. Having a strong connection or bond with one of the staff members is always good to have, because knowing that you have a strong connection with that person, you can learn from each other and help each other out. At Impact, it is a combination of physical, social, and learning environments. It refers to the set of facilities that the school provides. The facilities include classroom, health, sanitation, teacher-student relations, and moral or social values. My school is a place where people from diverse backgrounds come together with the purpose of learning. It is also a place where we get to make friends, learn new things, and grow every day. It takes a lot to make a school great. It comes with challenging work and determination. School climate, a cooperative staff, community involvement, a strong leader, and a rigorous curriculum are the key factors that decide greatness. Our school values can include resilience, aspiration, determination, tolerance, respect, and team spirit. Representing our school means that our voices are being heard and our staff members are listening to all the kinds of ideas we have now and for the future. Impact is like a second home to people. It is a place where we can be comfortable and be yourselves. The staff team is like family to us. They're always there to help, and you can be comfortable and be yourselves. The staff team is like family. They make sure we are in a safe environment, getting the attention we need. Impact has changed so many people in so many numerous ways and has made people who they are today.
Thank you, Lesliana. Lola?
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, my name is Lola and I am an 8th grader at Chestnut. Being an 8th grader at Chestnut is nice. The 8th graders get treated more like young adults. Sometimes it is hard to do most things, but the teachers are always trying to find a way to help. At first, I was scared going into 6th grade, but the school made me realize to be who I am, and I had many good experiences. But when it came down to bad experiences, there were many counselors to help me while I was there. The teachers found many ways to make us students feel safe, and also the teachers are helpful. The teachers are always there to help, and I feel like the teachers and counselors have high hopes for everyone because they encourage us to do better every day.
Thank you, Lola. Discovery Early College High School at Chestnut Middle School is in the house. Nevia Hinton, Navia, if I pronounce it wrong, please correct me. Nevea is supported by Stephanie Crow, the guidance counselor.
So I wanted to start off with a good evening to everybody. I hope you're all enjoying your evening. And I wanted to, rather than focusing on the diversity, which is really a big part of the Chestnut campus between all of the different schools, I want to talk about the opportunities that are given to us with extracurriculars and the classes. And I want to start off with how grateful I am to the staff and teachers of all the schools for helping the students with tutoring, clubs, helping them grow to become better people. I found that these opportunities have helped me to become a member of my school student council. I've been able to become the president of a club, and it also gives more responsibility on us students and allows even stronger growth as we're becoming adults and even more independence as people alone. And personally, with my experience, I've been taking college classes since my first semester of my freshman year, and I have already accumulated about 20 credits, and I am working towards 28, and I've taken public speaking classes. I'm taking a basics in computer science with Worcester State. I'm taking writing classes. I've taken survey of mathematics, philosophy, a huge range of classes. And I think that it's a special opportunity that many other schools can work on to give students, because this truly helps build us in our career and how we're in our academic field. And being able to work towards an associate's degree in high school is probably going to be one of my strongest accomplishments. And I still want to give another thank you out to all of my staff, like Rosa Santiago or Stephanie Crow. They've been here for all the students since the very first year. And I feel like sometimes I probably would not be where I am today without the support of my staff. And being able to be a student representative is another thing on its own. I am greatly honored to be able to represent my school, as it's a completely thing I never thought would happen. Oh, she's crying. Ah.
Great job, Ms. Hilton. Great job. Outstanding. Thank you. Springfield Legacy Academy at Chestnut Middle School is in the house, supported by Bonita Flores, assistant principal. Jaden Porras is 8th grader. Please.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Bonita Flores. I am the 8th grade assistant principal, and our 8th grade representative is Jaden Porras. All right, Jaden, it's all yours.
Hello, I'm Jaden Flores. I'm an 8th grader at Legacy Academy, and I'll be speaking to you about my personal experience at this school. The community at Legacy overall is positive and interactive. We are encouraged to work as a team, and there are many opportunities to build relationships. And for example, I'm friendly with lunch ladies who are very polite. Additionally, I get to have fun playing soccer with some of my friends during my sports class. And from my experience, when I'm nervous, by hanging out with some of my friends, I'm put at ease. And when it comes to learning, the teachers are great. I'm quite fond of Mr. Baldi as my science teacher, since I like to learn about new things through science and figure out why things work the way they do. Here at the school, we do work that has helped me improve my grades. This year, I have improved unlike last year, and even in math, I've improved. In the ELA, we touch topics that are challenging, and the teachers also challenge my thinking quite a lot, and I'm going a lot because of that. In math, Miss Julie, my math teacher, has helped me a lot with this troubling unit. It doesn't feel right not to work hard in my classes, and as a result of all the hard work, my math scores in reading has increased almost 20 points from fall to winter and almost 10 points in math. One of our school values is advocacy, and when I feel something can be done better, I speak to staff in hopes that they support me in the issue. And in every single case they have. For example, when I advocated to switch classes this year by providing a list of reasons, they changed it for me and gave me a better opportunity to focus on my academics. And overall, it's just a great atmosphere. Thank you for your time, and thank you for listening.
Nice job, Jaden. Kennedy Middle School is in the house, supported by Matt Sullivan, Associate Principal, Amanda Scungio, Teacher Coach, Brittany Floyd is Dean of Culture, Serenity Scalise Camarti, Sky, a.k.a. Sky, is in the house. We'll turn it over to the Kennedy Middle School.
Okay.
You ready, Sky?
Yes.
All righty.
Good evening, Mayor Sarno, Superintendent Wickwar, and honor of members of the school community. My name is Skylee Carbonati, and I am a 7th grade student at John F. Kennedy Middle School. I am also the captain of our cheer team. We are the first ever cheer team at Kennedy. Last year, Coach Louie, Coach Grungio, and Miss Floyd started a cheer team with just 10 girls. None of us knew what we were doing, but our coaches or dean and all of the other team members pulled together. We learned new routines nearly every practice and all about what it means to be a cheerleader. And this year we have doubled the size and added a spirit club. We have cheered at basketball games, volleyball games, and we were lucky enough to walk in a formal. Some of our routines at the Puerto Rican parade this past September. Kennedy is becoming an exciting place to be a student here. The teachers, deans, and Mr. Sullivan all pull us to work hard and to always focus on the positive. When we are struggling, we have many safe places, and adults that we can speak to help us. Our coaches, deans, counselors, and teachers all work hard to make us feel safe and heard. Since I have been at Kennedy, we have become the most harmonious place. These all, as students and staff, continue to push us and each other to do our part to make Kennedy a safe and happy place for everyone. Students are holding each other accountable. For an example, I witnessed a student making fun of another student. I stepped in and explained that was what we were doing was bullying and not okay. The student listened to me, acknowledged what they did was not okay, and apologized. We are all doing our part to ensure that Kennedy is safe and positive environment for all of us. There are many exciting things happening at Kennedy and so much more to come. We have intensives coming up in the spring, which allows us to take part in community buildings activities based off on our intensives. We also are lucky enough to have social events like last year's carnival, our back to school barbecues and dances. And tonight is actually our Winter Wonderland dance. I am very excited to see what the rest of my 7th grade year has in store for me. Thank you so much for allowing me to speak with you. Have a great night.
Have a great dance, Sky. Nice job, and quite the turnaround at Kennedy Middle School, too. Kylie Prep Middle School, that's my alma mater, supported by Johnny McKnight, the math teacher, and Angel. I am not even going to attempt to pronounce that last name, but you'd score a lot of points in Scrabble, I'll tell you that right now. So, Mr. McKnight, maybe introduction and how I can properly pronounce Angel's last name.
I don't know if I'm going to take a jab at that. Last name is pretty hard, but Angel is a wonderful young woman and student that I had the pleasure of teaching since the 6th grade, and she's here today to represent Kylie Prep Middle School.
Thank you very much, Mr. McKnight. Angel, can you pronounce your last name, please, for me, because I want to be able to say it.
Of course. My last name is pronounced Sumpun Pakdi.
Sultan Pakti. Okay. I did a
Sumpun Pakdi.
Sumpun Pakti.
Yes.
Okay. I'll go with Angel. How's that?
And that's okay too.
Great to have you on, dear.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Honorable Mayor Sarno and members of the school committee. My name is Angel Sumpakdi from 8th grade Kylie Prep. I will be talking about looping. Looping is when you have the same teachers each year. The teachers I have now are the teachers I had in 6th and 7th grade. A few benefits of looping would be teachers knowing you already. They would also know your strengths and weaknesses, and you would have already built a relationship with them. But looping has benefited me and the results of my MAP scores by allowing my teachers to challenge me based off what I know. It also helps me with any work I struggle with, so then I take what I learn and I apply it to MAP testing. Looping is also beneficial because when you have new teachers, it is awkward and students would have to get to know the teacher. But having the same teachers build a stronger relationship and help me academically. Thank you for your time and attention.
Nice job, Angel. Thank you very much. Last but not least is Academy at Kylie. Jackson Ward, grade 7, supported by Helen Vu, Dean of Culture. So we'll turn it over to my alma mater, Kylie.
Hello, everybody. Unfortunately, Dean Vu was unable to attend today, so my name is Imani Hines. I'm the associate principal here at the Academy at Kylie. Jackson Ward is a 7th grade student here at the Academy. And even though he's new to us this year, he's already one of our ambassadors, and I'm so excited for you all to hear from this rising scholar. Go ahead, Jackson.
Good afternoon to the members of the Springfield School Committee and our treasured guests. My name is Jackson Ward, and I'm a 7th grade student at Kylie Academy. Today, I'd like to speak to you about my experience at Kylie and how Kylie will set me up for success in the future. The Kylie Academy environment is fun, supportive, and challenging, but in a good way. Kylie Academy is engaging because they give us opportunities to learn things we wouldn't be able to learn in a typical classroom. We also get to explore new places. This wouldn't be possible without our enrichment program. Enrichments are classes we vowed for. These are classes that teach us skills that we don't normally get to learn, like non-contact boxing, sign language, painting on a canvas, and much more. Kids should be able to experience these skills because they can find something they are exceptional in. One of my personal favorite activities to be able to undertake at Kylie has been our field trips. The past few field trips have been fun and exciting. For instance, the most recent one I have been on was to Interstate 91, which was tremendously thrilling. But that is far from the point. Some people have never been to Interstate or even once skated, never mind going. In my opinion, everyone should experience skating at least once. But it doesn't have to be just skating. It could be an experience like going to a hockey game or pumpkin picking. Life is short. That's why you have to live it the best you can. That's why field trips are so important to me. Not only does Kylie Academy help us have new experiences, they also help us practice important values. We use a system called the 4 Habits of Scholarship, or HOS for short. The 4 Habits of Scholarship are perseverance, responsibility, quality, and respect. This is important because it is how we treat others and ourselves. The 4 Habits of Scholarship are effortless to remember and easy to use in everyday life. For example, I use it for responsibility when I pay attention to my teachers and turn my work in on time. I use perseverance when I have trouble with an assignment. I try my best to push through and ask for help when I need it. I also ask for ways I can be better at math. I try my best to use vocabulary and make sure my writing is I try my best to use new vocabulary and make sure my writing is easy for the teachers to understand. This is an example of paying attention to the quality of my writing. Finally, I use respect when teachers are trying to tell me something very important. The Habits of Scholarship simply teach you how to be a better person. At Kylie, I am what is called an ambassador. Because of this, I can speak with you. As an ambassador, I have high expectations. The teachers and deans would be very surprised to see me do something deceptive. Being an ambassador is very enjoyable. I get to help my classmates and set up for events. Every Wednesday, all ambassadors meet in the auditorium and discuss future plans and activities. As an ambassador, I try my best to help those in need. This is one way that I'm growing as a leader. My teachers and peers are the best that you could ask for. The teachers at Kylie are the best. They are encouraging and push me to do my best, especially my English teacher, Miss Louie. She was always going out of her way to help me and my peers and is so patient all the time. My peers are also very supportive and congratulate my success with being an ambassador. I couldn't ask for a much better group of teachers and classmates. Kylie sets me up for success by giving me work that is challenging in a good way. This past year, I have started learning pre-algebra. I have written essays about themes, modes, and setting. I have researched different inventions of ancient China and wrote an essay about how gunpowder changed ancient warfare. I am pushed to go beyond my limits. The teachers and deans try their best to teach me what's moral. My experience at Kylie is like no other. This is because my first year here, I have the opportunity to speak with all of you, and it is an honor to do so. Thank you.
Nice job, Jackson. Thank you very much. Nice job to all our student representatives. That concludes that portion. We'll take a 1-minute recess and go into our regularly scheduled meeting. Thank you very much. Good evening. We'll call the meeting to order. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Ms. Hurst,
She is going to attempt to join us again remotely.
Attorney Murphy, Mr. Gonzalez,
Present.
Mr. Collins, Ms. Gresham,
She is joining us remotely. And quick, speedy recovery and good health to you, Barbara.
Thank you.
Ms. Monroe Naylor, Mayor Sarno.
Present. If we could all please rise for a moment of silence and the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. I'd like to give a shout out and a big thank you again to Focus Springfield, Josue and team for continuing to televise these meetings live, and we have interaction with our public. We just finished a great student speak out, and we appreciate that very, very much. We're also joined by our new student representative from Central High School. Jaylene Hernandez will be joining us. We have a trifecta, triple threat from Central, and she's the second part of that. So you'll hear from her later on in the meeting. And the last thing I'll say before we go into our meeting is we had to speak in an event last night, and we got a great compliment from a young family about the free full-day pre-K. One child is in Zanetti, another is in early childhood, which we bought a few years ago, the combination of public-private, and wonderful. But she says, in essence, she was paying $600 a month for daycare. So with this, she's able to save over $5,000 a year. And I just wanted to express that to Superintendent Warwick and the team and all our school committee members. It does make a big difference. And she, her and her husband came up at the event, and I just thought it was for the viewing public to know that, what a big difference, again, Springfield being the first in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts to offer that. So we all appreciated that comment. Thank you. We'll just move to approval of minutes. To approve the minutes of December 15, 2022 regular meeting, January 3rd, 2023 organizational meeting, January 12, 2023 working session, which was probably one of our best working session with the kids there. They taught us a few things there. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, is there a motion on the floor?
So moved, Mr.
Motion by everybody. Is there a second? Second by, okay, Barb, we'll give it to you. Second by Ms. Gresham. Roll call vote is required. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Ms. Hurst, absent Attorney Murphy? Yes. Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes.
Mr. Collins?
Yes.
Ms. Gresham?
Yes.
Ms. Monroe Naylor?
Yes.
Mayor Sarno?
Yes, more than sufficient votes, matter passes. Thank you very much. We'll move down to Section 3, voting items. A is to approve the Berry School field trip request to Redgate Farm on 4 Norman Road in Ashfield, Mass., March 15, 2023, returning March 17th, St. Patrick's Day, 2023. I know we traveled to Redgate Farm a number of times. Superintendent Warwick, please.
You're right, Mayor. This is a trip we used to take all the time, and now, post-COVID, we're starting taking these field trips again, so thrilled with it. Recommend to approve it. There's an informational piece in your packet on the field trip, and Beth Fazio's here with a staff member if anyone has any questions.
Any questions or comments? Hearing none, is there a motion on the floor, please?
So.
Motion by Mr. Gonzalez, or second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Collins. Roll call vote is required. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Ms. Hurst, absent Attorney Murphy? Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes.
Mr. Collins?
Yes.
Ms. Gresham?
Yes.
Ms. Monroe Naylor?
Yes.
Mayor Sarno?
Yes, more than sufficient vote. This matter passes. Have a great trip. B is to approve Walsh School field trip request to the Redgate Farm on 4 Norman Road in Ashfield, Mass. For March 29, 2023, and returning March 31st, 2023. Superintendent Warwick, please.
And you have the informational piece in your packet. This is Walsh School. Vinnie Regan's here. If you have any questions, recommend approval.
Thank you, Principal Regan. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, is a motion on the floor?
So moved.
Motion by Vice Chair Naylor. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Gonzalez. Roll call vote is required. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Ms. Hurst? Absent Attorney Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes.
Mr. Collins? Yes. Ms. Gresham?
Yes.
Ms. Monroe Naylor?
Yes.
Mayor Sarno?
Yes, more than sufficient votes, this matter passes. C is to approve an expenditure of $100,000 from the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, DESE, for FY23, supporting students' social, emotional learning. The acronym is SEL, Behavioral and Mental Health and Wellness Grant. Superintendent Ward, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Matt Brunel is here from the Springfield Empowerment Zone Partnership to talk about the grant. This is for the ZEP schools. So Matt, if you want to give us a quick overview.
Great. Thank you, Superintendent Warwick, Mr. Mayor, members of the school committee.
See you, Matt.
Thank you. Good to see you as well. Thanks for having me tonight. Briefly, this grant, we all know that our students possess incredible strengths, but certainly what COVID has unearthed is that we're seeing some fairly significant challenges with the mental health and social emotional well-being of our students. This grant in particular will allow us to build out a stronger multi-tiered systems of support for our kids. The funding from this grant will specifically go to 3 areas. The first is it's going to help us bring to our schools stronger mental health and social emotional well-being screeners, including BASC, as well as a multisensory screener for students that really gets at anxiety. Second is that this will help us with the rollout of a culturally responsive SEL curriculum within our schools that is anti-racist. And then finally, that this will provide much needed funding for the development of the counselors within our zone in a series of professional learning community seminars, which include restorative practices within our schools, as well as stronger family engagement work. I'd be happy to take any questions that members of the committee have.
Thank you, Matt. Any questions or comments?
Mr. Mayor?
Mr. Gonzalez, please.
Yeah, Mr. Bernal, I just have a question. I know this is for the zone. Are there schools in particularly that you guys are going to be implementing this program at, or is this just across the zone?
It's a good question, Member Gonzalez. So it specifically, or I should say, this is in general, this is for across the entire zone. It's really a capacity building grant for the counselors across the zone, as well as putting screeners in across the zone.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez. Any other questions or comments?
Mayor.
Yes, Ms. Gresham, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Bernal, thank you so much for that wonderful presentation. Will you be hiring more counselors? Will you be adding more?
Yeah, from this grant, no. This grant won't allow us to fund more, but in coming years, we're continue to see this as a pretty significant need within our schools, and so that's what we're devoting our attention to right now is figuring out within our schools what's the right level of right number of counselors. I think that if we had any school leaders before you tonight, Member Gresham, they would say that we do in fact need more counselors within our schools because of the needs that we're seeing with our kids.
Right. Now with the mental health screeners, will they be on site? They will be on site?
They will be on site, yes.
On site. Okay, good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Ms. Gresham. Any other?
This has been through Budget
Superintendent
and
Ward?
Finance, the subcommittee, and the subcommittee recommended approval. So I didn't know if Chris wanted to speak to it.
I think the explanation certainly was all we needed to hear.
Thank you, Mr. Collins. Any other questions or comments? Okay, hearing none, there's a motion on the floor.
So moved.
Motion by Vice Chair Naylor. Is there a second, please?
Second.
Second by Mr. Gonzalez. Roll call vote is required. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Ms. Hurst? Absent Attorney Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes.
Mr. Collins?
Yes.
Ms. Gresham?
Yes.
Ms. Monroe Naylor?
Yes.
Mayor Sarno?
Yes, more than sufficient vote. This matter passes. Thank you. D is to approve an expenditure for $33,807 from the Department of Elementary Secondary Education, DESE, the acronym for FY 2023, Genocide Education Grant, and I believe it's either tomorrow, Holocaust Remembrance Day has come about. Superintendent Warwick, if you can
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. We have Tom Rochelle here, our Social Studies Director, to go over the grant with you. Tom?
Thank you.
Good evening, Superintendent, Mr. Mayor, and distinguished
Good
members
job.
of the committee. The grant we wrote was for genocide in education. The point of the grant is to make sure that our students are educated in the atrocities that have happened historically, as well as contemporary genocides. We will focus on not just the Holocaust, but really expand it out to include, Armenia, Ukraine, Cambodia, Rwanda, and focus on the early stages in our younger grades to understand how these things come about, as well as examples of what it looks like in each culture so that our students are well aware. The funding will also go to educating our teachers. It is important that they have not just the historical background of these atrocities, but also the pedagogy to teach it in a sensitive manner to ensure that all of our students are able to be a part of this education without adding stress or trauma to them, as well as providing a safe space for students to explore, what happened and how do we ensure it doesn't happen again.
Thank you, Tom. Any questions or comments?
Mayor, could I just ask?
Yes,
one
Attorney
question?
Murphy?
I'm sorry, did you say that the Armenian genocide would be included in the
Correct.
grant?
Correct.
Thank you.
Yes, so it's not limited to, it would be an exploration of genocide across history and across the globe.
Mr. Collins?
Just one further comment that in the subcommittee meeting, one of the other aspects that just wasn't mentioned here tonight was part of the curriculum is to teach the children societal behaviors that lead up to these things, the warning signs. And I thought that was one of the most key pieces of the curriculum, was to be teaching that.
Yes, thank you, Committee Member Collins. Yes, there are Stanton's 10 elements of genocide, and it's sort of a progression of how it comes about. So students will explore a number of those elements to be able to see patterns and how they reoccur and how we can recognize them today.
Thank you, Tom.
This is also
Superintendent
been
Ward?
through Budget and Finance and had
And
approval.
it received a unanimous, because obviously we think all of us thought it really attacked an issue in a great way. Money well spent.
Any other questions or comments? I think that this is very, very important, how people, human beings, can treat other human beings in such terrible ways. And it's important to know that history. But as Mr. Collins indicated, it's important to see the telltale signs of anything that might be popping up or cropping up right now. So I commend going after this grant, and hopefully it teaches people of all creeds, colors, backgrounds, and walks of life to be respectful of each and every one. But thank you, Superintendent Warwick. Thanks, Tom, for putting that together. If there's no other questions or comments, is there a motion on the floor?
So moved, Mayor.
By everyone. I know, Patty, I know, I'm giving you a hard time tonight, Patty. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Gonzalez. Roll call vote is required. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Ms. Hurst? Absent. Attorney Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes.
Mr. Collins?
Yes.
Ms. Gresham?
Yes.
Ms. Monroe-Naylor?
Yes.
Mayor Sarno?
Yes, board is official vote. This matter passes. Thank you. E is to approve an expenditure of $375,000 for a vocational grant from a foundation. Superintendent Warwick, please.
I'm going to ask Joao Alves, our vocational director, to speak to this. Joao, are you on? Well, I can pinch hit for him because I wasn't.
If he's not through, Mayor, it went through the subcommittee.
Went through the
And this is a grant from a foundation
Yeah.
that obviously we opened a wonderful vocational school, but vocational schools are only good if they keep up with the current technology in the field. This was a benefactor who believed in that and wanted to give money for a particular shop to be able to keep up with new equipment. So it's welcomed and a wonderful thing.
Thank you, Mr. Scott. I know Mr. Alves is very, very passionate. I just want to double check with Josue, just in case he's looking to get on. If not, Superintendent Warwick can happily handle this presentation.
Yeah, so it's to improve 3 of our shops, give us a technology. Is Joao on there?
Alves. A-L-V-E. Okay, thank you.
So it went through subcommittee and received unanimous approval, and the equipment they're buying makes a lot of sense, and the foundation was glad to fund it.
Thank you,
Recommend
Superintendent
approval.
Warwick. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, is there a motion on the floor?
So moved.
Motion by Vice Chair Naylor. Is there a second, please?
Second.
Second by Mr. Gonzalez. Roll call vote is required. Please, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Ms. Hurst, absent. Attorney Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes.
Mr. Collins?
Yes.
Ms. Gresham?
Yes.
Ms. Monroe Naylor?
Yes.
Mayor Sarno?
Yes, more than sufficient votes, the matter passes. Thank you very much. F is to approve an expenditure of $6,208,294 for the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, better known the acronym DESE, for FY 2023. This is improving ventilation, air quality in our public buildings grant as we continue to stay above the ASHRAE standards. Superintendent Warwick, please.
No, thank you. We've had a lot of success in this area because a lot of the investments the mayor made. But this is a grant we were able to get, so I'd like Pat Roach and John Carrigan are here to go over it with you.
Pat and John, thank you.
So we've reviewed all of our heating systems across the schools and for air quality during COVID. And we've been planning to use ESSER funds to make upgrades to a lot of our schools. And we separately received this grant, and we're going to use it to upgrade Bowles' HVAC system and improve the air quality in their school. Although it's not going to be the only school that we do, because we're going to use ESSER funds to do quite a few of our other schools that have the univent systems and that circulate the fresh air into the buildings. And this is a great grant for Bowles, and the heating system really needs to be updated. John, I don't know if you have anything else to add.
Thanks.
No, Pat, you pretty much summed it up. Bowles was one of the schools that was high on our list, along with many others. But we felt that Bowles was a good candidate for this grant, given what the requirements were. We're very excited and hopeful that we'll be able to do this to really benefit the community at large.
Thank you, John and Pat, and John and the other Pat Sullivan. Fantastic jobs in keeping up all our school buildings and municipal buildings ahead of the curve. So thank you. I don't know if there's any questions or comments.
Just a comment from, as it went through committee, one of the things that they didn't mention is that univents, if you've ever been in some of the older buildings, that's how they both heat and get fresh air, because they have a coil in there. Well, these univents that we're putting in are already going to be preset so that at some point in the future, there'll be a cooling tube in them as well as a heating tube. So at some point in the future, we'll be able to air condition those. So that gets you halfway to where you need to get to for schools.
Thank you, Mr. Collins, for the explanation. Any other questions or comments?
It was unanimously approved by the subcommittee.
Yeah, Ms. Gresham, please. Thank you.
Yes. So, Mr. Mayor, thank you. Will they be able to do this during school time while the children are in class, or will this be done like over the weekends?
Through the superintendent, whether Mr. Roach or Mr. Kerrigan. John, if
John, do you have a schedule on it?
Yeah, I can speak to that. We want to review the lead times on equipment. So one of the challenges, post-COVID is adapting to the lead times. But I think ideally the majority of this work, or any work that would be deemed disruptive to student operations, would be tabled for the summer vacation. We would, however, like to do some second shift and some work that may not be as disruptive, maybe in boiler rooms and other places where it won't be affecting school operations. We would like to try to do that to maximize, to minimize the downtime and maximize, our efficiency while we work through this project. So kind of a little bit of both, but mostly in the summer vacations.
All right, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Gresham. Thank you, John. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, is there a motion on the floor?
So moved, Mayor.
Motion by Mr. Gonzalez. Is there a second, please?
Second.
Second by Mr. Collins. Roll call vote is required. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Ms. Hurst, absent. Attorney Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes.
Mr. Collins?
Yes.
Ms. Gresham?
Yes.
Ms. Monroe Naylor?
Yes.
Mayor Sarno?
Yes, more than sufficient Votes, this matter passes. Thank you. G is to approve amending the agreement effective July 1st, 2021 by and between the City of Springfield and Sodexo Operations LLC, Article 6, Paragraph 6.9, guarantee minimum return by deleting the words $2,900,000 in lieu of thereof inserting the words $2,471,000, $339.04. Superintendent Warwick, please.
I'm going to turn this over to Pat Roach and Tim Gray to talk about the Sodexo contract
Just
reconciliation.
okay, you didn't ask for a second yet, right? I mean, you didn't ask for a motion on it. We're doing discussion first. Because there should be 2 more sentences on that somehow inadvertently got left off, but they are on your memo.
Okay.
And the 2 additional sentences are, that starts right after the 4 cents that you emphasized, Mayor.
Yep.
All other terms and conditions of the agreement are not amended, shall remain in effect and full force and effect. Payment is due in full by September 8th of 2023.
Thank you, Mr. Collins.
That is the whole motion.
Madam Clerk, if that can be reinserted there, we're voting on that last sentence, too. Okay, that's been clarified. Thank you. Superintendent Warwick?
Yeah, so
Tim Gray
Pat
and
Roach
Pat
can
Roach.
go over this for us. And it's been through 2 subcommittees, Budget and Finance and Legislative and Contracts. Like most of our work, the subcommittees do most of our work.
So our contract with Sodexo, it's a cost of operations. So they run our food service program and they pass the costs on to us. And so one of the things that happened last year, and they're supposed to generate a $2.9 million operating surplus. And we use that surplus to pay some salaries on our side. We use it to pay for rent on the Culinary and Nutrition Center, utilities there, and equipment repairs throughout the district. And what happened last year is Sodexo did not meet their guarantee. And that's because of the high cost of food. You know, as everybody's experiencing every day, the food costs have gone up significantly. And so they chose, instead of cutting the program and cutting back on food quality, they chose to continue operating to the high standards. But unfortunately, they missed the guarantee. So they've already sent us a check for $1 million to make up for that guarantee. And they had asked us if we were willing to split the difference with them. And we won't have to adjust anything in the program, and we can split this with them. We thought it was fair. We had the discussion in subcommittee. It would reduce the amount of the guarantee by $428,660.95. All that'll do is it'll force us to kind of look at our equipment replacement plan and just adjust our plan a little bit. But our priority was to not cut food quality to the children. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Roach. Any questions or comments, school committee members?
I have a question.
Vice Chair Naylor, please.
Pat, one of the questions that we brought up in the subcommittee meeting was around the reality that we were able to maintain a level of consistency and quality of our food this past year because we were able to come up with this agreement. The concern is moving forward for this year, as we know the inflation is still very real. How do we maintain that high level quality of food? As we noted in the meeting, we have not received the number of complaints. Actually, I haven't received one this year on the food, so that is like a big deal. So we would like to see that continue as far as that level of quality, but understanding that it's possible we may see a gap again this year. So what is going to happen with that?
So we've had some discussion. We've had some ongoing discussions with Sodexo about what it would take to continue that food quality, but us give up a little bit of the guarantee on our end, which is really just kind of pushing off some of the investment in updating equipment. And we are scheduling a subcommittee meeting with the school committee to bring you the specifics on it. But you're right, we'll have to do the exact same thing again in the current year that we're in. Because we're facing the exact same challenge, and we do not want to cut the quality of food to our children.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chair Naylor. Thank you, Pat. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, there's a motion on the floor.
So moved.
Motion by Vice Chair Naylor. Is there a second, please?
Second.
Second by Mr. Gonzalez. Roll call vote is required. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Ms. Hurst, absent. Attorney Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes.
Mr. Collins?
Yes.
Ms. Gresham?
Yes.
Ms. Monroe Naylor?
Yes.
Mayor Sarno?
Yes, more than sufficient votes, this matter passes. Thank you. We'll now move to Section 4, informational discussion items. A is a STEM middle school best practices update. Superintendent Warwick, please.
Yeah, we're bringing some of our schools forward where they've really done well over the last year or several years on the MCAS testing program. STEM Middle Academy certainly is one of those. ELA was up to 486.9 last year, plus 5, and that's just post-COVID, so very impressive. Their math was also up over 481.1, a gain of 2, and their science gain was actually 10 points. So they also had significant gains in their student growth percentiles in ELA and math. So really positive gains along the board. Great job by the staff, because just coming back from COVID was a real challenge. So to have those kinds of gains when a lot of schools in the state went backwards was significant. So I've asked Luis Martinez and his team to come forward and present some of the things that really worked at the school and how they achieved those tremendous results. So I'm going to turn it over to Luis.
Thank you, Superintendent Warwick. Principal Martinez, how are you?
I'm sorry, go ahead. I'm doing great, sir.
And please tell my pal Giovanni I said hello, okay? You knew I was going to say that.
Absolutely. Every time I see you, I say the same thing. He gets excited when you give him a shout out. So good evening, school committee members, Mayor Sarno, and Superintendent Warwick. I'm excited tonight and honored by this opportunity to present out along with my team. Here tonight with us is Assistant Principal Eduardo Martinez, our Acting Assistant Principal Nicole Forries, our Science Department Chair and Extraordinaire, Mr. CJ McCarthy, and then also we have Mr. Gus here tonight, an amazing educator last year that just did an awesome job with our 8th grade ELA students. We promoted him so much that we rotated him back to 6th grade, so he gets to start all over. Tonight we have an opportunity to kind of present out what STEM is and all the great things that we do here at STEM, not only the classroom, but outside the classroom. And so tonight we'll do this for you and hope you enjoy our presentation tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Let me put this in presentation mode. And let's go. Okay, so I have 2 screens here going, so let me see if I can share this one. I'm gonna try. Okay, am I doing this right? Hold on, share sound.
Josue from Focus, anything at our end, or?
Hold on, it's me, Mayor Sarno. I'm just trying
okay.
to.
I just wanted to double check, Principal Martinez. Thank you. Thank you, Josue.
I'm just trying to share the screen here so it looks in presentation mode. So let's see from the beginning. Okay, I'm gonna bring this down here. Bring this down here.
I don't have these problems on my Etch-a-Sketch, Principal Martinez.
Okay, here we go. Does it look good there?
Yes.
See it coming.
Yes.
All right,
Thank you.
Excellent. So welcome to STEM Middle Academy. I am Luis Martinez. I'm the principal here, and this is our amazing staff. We are a very small but powerful staff, and I want to showcase some of the things that, again, make STEM very special. So it is our mission here at STEM Middle Academy to support literacy and problem-solving abilities through the equitable and inclusive methods that value student diversity. We engage our students in science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics with a focus on environmentally responsible and resource-efficient practices with an emphasis on real-world application. It is the vision of STEM Middle Academy. The vision of STEM Middle Academy is to provide all of our students with a high-quality, culturally relevant education in the interdisciplinary fields of science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics that instills a passion for inquiry, discovery, and fosters persistent teamwork and application of gained knowledge. Our instructional focus for the past 2 years has been that all educators will post high quality work, strong in literacy skills and problem solving strategies using meaningful supports and instruction. Our day begins 180 days begins with our STEM pledge. So if I can get our school committee members and the members that are on our Zoom tonight, if you guys can follow along with me in our STEM pledge, because this is the start of everything that we do. We are crew, not passengers.
Okay.
I am the leader of my own learning. I act responsibly and take charge of my own success. I collaborate because I know we achieve more when we work together. I show integrity and show integrity and do the right thing even when no one is looking.
That's important.
I innovate and use new ideas to solve problems and improve our world. I strive for quality and work towards excellence. I support literacy and global citizenship for all. Science, technology, engineering, mathematics, we are them. So every morning we begin with that pledge, and it's recited by all of our students here because that's the core of what we believe in. Our STEM turnaround practice was based on four fundamental things that we needed to change. Our leadership, shared responsibility, professional collaboration, intentional practices for improving instruction, student-specific supports and instructions for all students, and school climate and culture. So what we did here is not behind the scenes. We took our teachers and we broke down every one of our turnaround practices, and we had our teachers drive this. It is all educator and staff driven. We supported them. We asked them what are they willing to do to help us meet all these turnaround practices. So as you can see, this is our professional development at the beginning of the year. We did a porthole activity where we went over the turnaround practices and we said, what can we do in order to support all four turnaround practices? So as you heard, Superintendent Warwick, we are celebrating our success from all that hard work that our educators did. We grew 5 points in ELA across the board, 2 points in mathematics, almost 11 points in science. We met all our targets for all our students. But even better, our subgroups grew. Our ELA students with disabilities in ELA grew 2.1. Our students with disabilities in math grew 2.1. Our ELA English language learners grew 3.7, and our students, our ELL students in math also grew 6 points. So not only we did across the school, but also our subgroups made their goals. Again, celebrating our vitals. Our students' attendance was 2% above our target. Our teacher attendance was 0.2 above our target. We met our out of school suspensions. Our chronic absence was 12.8 less than our target. Our SPED referral was 1.6 less than our target, and we met our staff diversity 2% above the 40% target that was created for us. As part of our turnaround practices, our first turnaround practice was shared leadership and professional collaborations. We have 3 different strategies. We wanted to do learning walks, and we wanted to make sure that they were organized, specific, and we were to give our educators feedback, actionable feedback they implement immediately. We expanded our collaboration times in our professional learning communities, our PLCs. We added more time to our grade level team meetings, and everyone got coaching from our new teachers to our veteran teachers. You got coached. And then we met together in our instructional leadership team and our CEDM teams, and we looked at our data cycles, and we incorporated plan, do, study, and act in both our English department and continued one in our mathematics department. We focused in on dire and culturally relevant curriculum. We did our training with Dr. Warnham on diversity, inclusion, racial equity. We did our book study on everyday anti-racism, where our educators were given articles, and we had some thought-provoking, difficult conversations that allowed our teachers to grow and search for new curriculums and new resources in order to help our students. We move into intentional practices for improving instructions. I'm going to turn it over to our acting assistant principal, Nicole Forries, so she can go over the things that we did in this particular turnaround practice.
Hi Hi, everyone. I'm Nicole Fories. I'm the AP of Instruction at STEM, but I've been the ILS there for the past 7 years. And thank you guys for having me. I'll just go over this quickly as possible. I do have the instruction portion, which is a huge part. The first thing was writing across disciplines. We noticed a few years ago that our writing was really struggling. Our students weren't getting the scores that we used to, and we really wanted to hone in on what the problem was. So we decided to come up with this motto that we say at the beginning of every faculty meeting, every PD, read and write every day in every class. We started to notice that we had been doing a lot of the reading and writing heavily in ELA only. We wanted to show it off in all the classes. So we kind of do this in some capacity, some form, but they're reading and writing every class, every day. The first step was to take our entire English department to the PD Center for a full day, and we calibrated ourselves. And what that means is we decided on what scores would be given to students based on their writing. We first started looking at their actual MCAS scores and their actual writing from the prior year. We looked at what we thought we would have given them, and then using the MCAS rubric, we looked at their ANETs at the midpoint of the year, and we literally calibrated. We made sure we all were looking at the same thing, giving the same feedback. That way it was just universal language across the grade levels. We also use something in all classes, which is my favorite thing in the world. It's called a quote burger. It's literally something that we draw in the shape of a burger, and it helps our students organize their paragraphs. We noticed that they'd be really good at finding evidence, but their entire paragraph would be just quotes from whatever they were reading. And we wanted to change that and make sure it was more of their writing. So we use quote burgers everywhere. And I have to say, my favorite thing is at the end of MCAS where they're handing in their stuff and you just see all their scrap paper has quote burgers drawn all over it. It makes us so happy. And then the other thing we always do in terms of writing is we break down the learning targets every day so that it helps them break down the prompt. We started noticing students were writing a lot and getting 0 points. And the fact is they just weren't answering the question correctly. So we wanted to make sure that they knew what was being asked of them. So when they did all their hard work, they got points for it. You can go to the next one, Lewis. We are a standards-based instruction school, so it just means we do standards-based grading, and we have identified our priority standards in each of our content areas. And what we do is we don't just give assignments to give assignments, we give assignments to have students show mastery. In our building, everything is out of 4 points, so if they're a 2.7 or under, it means that maybe they are close, but they didn't master the skill yet, and we use this in our gradebook to help determine what needs to be retaught, as well as what students are doing well on. And of course, if there's a new platform or application for students who are struggling, to show us they can master it if they can do it in a different way. We always say we teach students the skills. It drives our classes. We don't teach the text. We don't teach the unit. We teach the skills. Essentially, we want them to be able to learn without us. We plan all of our units with something that I've done in more than just the English department. We call it the 4 T's: text, topic, task, and time. The district is amazing at giving us all of these resources and units, but we wanted our teachers to be able to internalize it. So we do everything from every single skill that they need to do down to the time of the year that they'll be doing it and how long it takes. Which leads me into one of my favorite things that we do is project-based learning. We do expeditions. We do stuff across grade levels, across each of the core content areas, including our arts. And we make sure that we repeat all of the work in each of the areas so that students are seeing things not just in our class. So a perfect example is in 7th grade, we do the book in English, A Long Walk to Water. It's a great book about the war in the Sudan and the lack of clean water. We not only read that book, but we have students learning how to use filtration to clean water. We have the whole ancient civilizations and why water was so important. We have all the ratios of how much water we use in a day. We do all of that across it. And we even raise money and send the money to the Sudan so we can get drinking wells built for people. So it's always real world applications, and it just makes the kids remember what we're doing even more because it's applying everything they're learning over and over again. And then there's coaching, and that includes myself and Mr. Thomas. He's not on today, but we do an open door policy. I know Mr. McCarthy and Mr. Gustafson are on here, and there's often a line outside of our door because we are always working with them. And I have to say, the best part about STEM is the fact that we're all willing to help and we're all willing to ask for help. And that's my favorite part of the culture of the building. We model as often as we can. And that just doesn't include Mr. Thomas and I. The principals go in, as well as the other teachers. They're both Mr. Gus and Mr. McCarthy on here today, have been in other rooms. We try to build the leadership in our building. We'll take over an entire class, an entire unit, an entire week, whatever it is, as long as we can share the knowledge. It doesn't stay in a silo in our building. And we also don't force the coaching. It's one of the things we noticed. If you force coaching, the motivation to come to us kind of goes out the window. So teachers come to us willingly. They use the learning walk feedback and they come to us and we just have a whole conversation. What do you want your kids to be able to do by the end of the week? And as the teacher's talking, we're writing a lesson plan up for the week. And it just takes that overwhelm off, which is something that we saw a lot of when we came back from the pandemic. And that's, I'm sorry guys, I tried to make it as succinct as possible, but that's the instruction at STEM Middle Academy.
Thank you, Nikki.
Thank you very much.
And in addition to that, right, we also have to think about our students and what kind of supports they need and instruction to all students. So I'm going to turn it over. Actually, this is actually my piece. So we expanded learning opportunities in the curriculum, not only inside, but also outside. We had specific stat and counseling opportunities through our student support team. And also we became a fully PBIS school. And then we celebrated all the successes, not only from student success, but also our educators' success. So things that we wanted to have in place is we wanted to set goals for our iReady in diagnostics, and I'll show you some of that data here in a minute. Again, you heard Nikki talk about coaching. So we coached our math teachers around math language routines, things that we want our students to practice inside the classroom. We had a lot of coachings from ANET, so we want to thank ANET and Justin Pistorius for all the coaching and the help with our Plan, Do, Study, Act in mathematics. We had iReady, a standards mastery assessments. We did this closer to the MCAS, where every single week we looked at specific standards and we supported reteach and reassessing on those standards within the classes. We hired math and writing interventionists to support our work. So we had math interventionists that will push into the classroom. We also hired a writing interventionist that it was its own standalone class. We expanded our band and music production programs, and you saw a presentation, I believe, a few weeks ago with Mr. Burgess and Mrs. Laster of the things that we're doing here with music production. Everything that we did was career focused. So we wanted to make sure that our project-based learning had a career, or different activities always had a career attached to it. Because again, we believe that our students should know what they're learning has an end goal, things that they can be. You heard Nikki talk about our expedition, our cross-curricular projects. We had math class level mini projects. We had our MCAS boot camps as we got closer to the MCAS, and then we had standards-based theme weeks, in which again, we focused on specific standards. One of the great things that we were able to do here, and again, with the support of our staff and our partners, is we were to create new clubs and experiences. I'm going to send this link out to Patty McCarthy, so hopefully you guys get to see this. We actually created our own rap video over the summer. We had CSI camps. We took our kids flying with the Right Flight program. We started not a new club to the city, but a new club for us, which was Girls on the Run. So we did a lot of activities that, again, kind of intertwined kind of brought in our students and make sure that they understood that this is not just a place where you're just learning math and ELA. You're applying all these different things in the classroom and outside of the classroom in our co-curricular, our extracurricular activities. So again, one of the things that we did heavily, and I think everybody knows this, I love data, and this is our math data for the beginning of the year last year. And again, you can see just from one slide to the next that our data grew too many. Our data grew significantly across the board in all grades levels. So we're always looking at data, making sure that we're applying interventions where we need to. So I'm going to turn it over to our science teacher so he can talk a little bit more how we got those almost 11 points up in the science data.
So thank you for having me today. My name is CJ McCarthy. I'm the department chair and 8th grade science teacher at STEM. So what you're looking at right here is a big part of our student experience in the science department. We bring in anchoring phenomena from the world around them, and we try and directly engage the students with that phenomena. So they don't only become just students, but they're actually explorers and investigators in the science, learning science skills, and then applying those skills to real world problems around them. We've looked for microplastics in the environment around the school. We've grown a vegetable garden. We've looked at different species of animals that live around us. And we've also done engineering and city planning too as well in 7th grade. So we've really tried to bring the experience of the students into the classroom and then show them what they can do with that experience. One of the big things that we've been really proud about in the science department is returning to kind of pre-pandemic scoring for MCAS. And we did that pretty quickly. The way that we did that was by using our hands-on lessons and kind of having vertical alignment across the entire department, but also by using open science curriculum, which uses that anchoring phenomena and then gives students storylines to follow and explore that science in real time with the teacher. So the students really are the leaders of the learning in our science classrooms, and the teachers are really more the facilitators and planners for the materials. You can tell that from 2019, that was before the pandemic. So it was 2018, the last year before, and you can see that over 2021, the scores dropped dramatically, and that was the damage done from the pandemic. But then with the open science curriculum and the kind of style of teaching that we have, you can see that with our 2022 scores, we've basically returned back to pre-pandemic levels, and we look to move far beyond that. We're just below state standards for the whole state. So if we can get that extra 5 points and then above, I know we can do it.
Thank you, CJ.
There we go.
CJ, they were the best improvements in the city in science score, so incredible job. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Appreciate the comments.
So I'm going to try to kind of summarize a lot of these slides because I know we're past our 15 minutes. But
No, it's okay.
again,
It's good news. It's good news.
Okay.
Take your time.
Excellent. So we also, under the leadership of Assistant Principal Martinez, we established our student support team. Assistant Principal Martinez, you want to jump on?
Good evening, everybody. Yeah, our student support meeting, we meet twice a month, and we deal, actually we have an agenda because we got to follow the agenda, make sure that we're doing everything properly. But we also have second steps, so we identify our problems, come up with a plan, and then follow through with the plan to make sure that all the kids are getting, all the students are getting all the needs they need, whether it's emotional, academics, attendance, behavior. Next. And then we also we're school-wide PBIS. There's our flow chart. The first thing that we decided to make it was make it student-friendly. For that way, everybody can understand what they're reading. And we broke that apart and made posters and put them all around the schools for everybody, including the teachers and students and staff, to get familiarized with our expectations. And by doing this, we actually had kids less redirecting, and the kids are more in the classroom. So they get more classroom time just by doing that. And then we also do a lot of celebrations. Once a month, we have our community meetings where we recognize the students who have done wonderful things for us, whether it's grades, attendance, behavior, being kind to each other, being on time to class. So, and that's it for now.
Thank you, Assistant Principal Martinez.
So our last strategy was school culture and climate. So one of the things that we did is we wanted to strengthen communication among the staff. We wanted one source of information going out every single week to make sure that all of us are on the same page. So we subscribe to a newsletter called The S'more. And some people love it, some people don't, but at least it's one of the things that it's just a one common place where we can find all the information. So we can attach links, we can have celebrations. The assistant principal Fories and ILS Art Thomas can put instructional news. So it's just one place, one point of information rather than tons of emails from different people. So we came up with that. We boosted up our crew and advisory. We used our advisory blog to create a feeling of connection, community, and with family and educators. Our crew teachers became liaisons to our parents, so therefore they had a direct communication rather than coming to our counselor, myself. They were able to establish that direct communication with their crew teachers. So it was breaking a big building into a very small groups. So it was more of a family feel. Our last strategy was our SEL trauma-informed practices, which you heard Assistant Principal Martinez talk, which was our second steps curriculum plus our crew lessons. So just kind of give you some examples of what we did. I have an attachment to our link there, giving an example of our newsletter. We also did a lot of incentives for our teachers, giving them opportunities to meet around the coffee. And here you can see us giving them hot chocolate. Assistant Principal Fories wrote notes or puns on every one of those cups. And yes, it took us a long time, but again, those PBI's opportunities for our educators are as important as to our students. And again, our teachers definitely felt the love from us on that very cold day. Our crew and social and emotional and trauma informed practices. We did a lot of this. We did get to know you activities. We did icebreakers, second steps, emotional weekly lessons. We did student-led family conferences twice last year when we brought in our parents. We did one in person and one through Zoom, and our students got to talk to their parents about their strengths and weaknesses in different classes. We did college and career door contests. We did our cultural awareness and inclusion practices that involved food and from different cultures. We did our crew flags. We did cruise given, Merry Cruismas. I think you're getting the point here that everything is a crew. We did iReady and ST math challenges to improve our numbers around iReady usage. And then this year we're doing ST math. We did an awesome career fair. We brought in many partners and from our local community. And again, there's a video here that we'd love you guys to eventually take a look at. It is just an amazing experience for our students and teachers. Some of the examples that you see here is we actually had a challenge for our teachers where they had to stack up cups, and we brought that into our students. So whatever we model for our educators, our students got a chance to do as well. We did a lot around career exploration, planning, and Naviance. We expanded the use of Naviance during social studies class to get the kids oriented towards a career. And you can see an example of the poster here on the top right. We use our resources from the district. You can see Denise Matusak in her bee outfit. When we did our expedition, she came and talked to us about the pollination of bees and creating pollinator gardens. So we definitely did not keep things here at STEM. We use our resources in the district and our district personnel to help us out. We did high school road shows. We did expedition guest speakers, and then our career fair, which I hope you guys get to see that video. We did a lot of reaching out to the parents through Facebook and our all-call system. So I think I went pretty fast on all the things that we did, but I hope you guys got a gist or got to see all the great things that we do here at STEM. So on behalf of all our faculty here at STEM, all the supports from our instructional departments, our facilities departments for kind of seeing the madness and helping us out create some of that madness, some of those opportunities. Again, thank you for this opportunity to present out to you guys tonight, and here we are to answer any questions.
Thank you, Principal Martinez. I know Vice Chair Naylor knows firsthand what's the good that's going on there. We just saw great photo shots there, but if there's, and to your team, any questions or comments from our school committee members, please? Superintendent Moore?
Go ahead, Latoya.
Vice Chair Naylor?
Thank you. I wanted to give anybody else a chance to ask a question or a comment, but to the mayor's point, I definitely have had a wonderful experience there as a parent and having two children that have attended STEM. And one thing that I can say, first I want to give a shout out. Mr. Mayor, you were right. We had the best working session that we've ever had. And two of the individuals there were from
great.
STEM.
Yeah, they were
And the
great.
music program that they presented on and the young people that came and shared their music. And they were involved in the MLK community-wide celebration. So we had some students there and their music played. And Mr. Burgess, who's doing a phenomenal job with the music. It's just really nice to see a diversity of gifts and offerings for our children. And to your point about the flight school, that was the best. Like, my son still talks about it every single day. He wants to be a pilot because of that experience. And so I just wanted to say thank you, Mr. Martinez, to you and your team, not just as a school committee member, but as a parent who have just felt welcomed and always felt invited. Even before I became a school committee member, I felt connected to STEM. And so now being on this side of it and seeing what you all are doing, I'm just always rooting for you, and we're always here to support you.
Very well put, Vice Chair Naylor. Any other questions or comments?
Just, Mayor, Springfield has so much to be proud of, and this is one of those that unfortunately we don't do enough highlighting of all these wonderful places and things. And this, thank you for the presentation. And I see there are a number of videos on. I would encourage the public to go watch those. We have a lot going on that's really excellent, and this is one shining example of it.
Thank you, Mr. Collins. Mr. Gonzalez.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Kudos, Mr. Martinez and team over at STEM. I have two questions. I mean, you guys have accomplished so much, and I guess the question for any leader such as yourself, where are you guys going to go from here? Where are the next priorities for you guys? And then, can some of these great best practices be replicated or duplicated that we can learn from for the rest of the district?
Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez. Would you like to answer that, Principal Martinez? Sure you would. I know you would.
Absolutely. So the hardest thing to say to a wonderful staff is, hey, listen, we did a really good job last year, and guess what? We get to do it all over again. The staff worked tirelessly last year, and they did it. We knew that we had a challenge, and this is through COVID. We were not. We took our challenges as well with our staff getting COVID and all that kind of stuff. And the great thing about the staff is that we all chipped in. Assistant Principal Foyes jumped in for a week and covered an English class. Assistant Principal Martinez did the same thing. I taught in English, a math honors class for a semester as part of, even though being a principal, I still taught that class. Mr. McCarthy has jumped in. Mr. Gus has jumped in. So this is an all hands on deck school where I know that sometimes it's, the work it can be tough, but we jump in because we know that we're not going to let the kids down, and that's the most important thing. So yeah, we set new goals for this year. We wanted, we made them so we can achieve them. And so yes, we have new goals that we're striving for. We have new challenges that we're proposing for our students. Our staff is doing an amazing job of selling. Right, we have to sell this to the kids that this is the greatest thing that we're going to do, and the kids are buying into it, which is the most important thing. Gonzalez, school representative. I remember a young man from Sci Tech, so I hope you remember me as well, Mr. Gonzalez. So, so again, yes, we will love to sit. Anybody that we are an open building. Anybody can come in here and sit with us and ask us what we're doing. If anybody wants to come and tour or sit down with myself, my administrative team, our leaders in this building, we definitely are welcome to that. Again, the work is not done hidden. The work is done with the teachers and with with their input, with their best practices. And again, we're just here to support and enjoy the ride because the work is done by our teachers, which is the most important thing.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Mr. Martinez.
Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez. Thank you, Principal Martinez.
And our principals meet in teams and always share best practices along with our supervisors and directors. So that was a good question and a good point. One data point that you didn't list, Louis, that I caught and I didn't list, student growth percentile up 23.1% in ELA.
Wow.
And 12% in math. So just incredible across the board in all subjects. Great job, Lewis and STEM team.
Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, a round of applause for Principal Martinez and his team. His team. Fantastic. Thank you so much. We'll now move the reports of standing committee, student relation, parent concerns. Ms. Gresham?
No report, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Ms. Gresham. B is Building Maintenance Committee. Mr. Collins?
No report, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. C is Legislative Contracts Committee. Mr. Gonzalez?
No report.
Thank you. D is Curriculum Programs Committee. Ms. Hurst is absent. Through the Vice Chair and Naylor and Superintendent Warwick, love to see if we can, I know it's time consumed, but some type of anti-litter program education, the importance of being environmentally conscientious. We got to get away from someone saying somebody else is going to pick it up, somebody else will clean it up, because can piggyback. You know, we already have the our Clean City program through Pat Sullivan, anti-graffiti program. We have DPW, Sheriff with Nick Cochi, and now the ROCA, the Clean Slate. But if we start to ingrain that in our students at a young age, I think that'll be preventative. I know, in fairness to Superintendent Warwick, School Committee, we were looking at this, and then COVID hit, pandemic. But I think if we're able to work that in, I think that'd be important. I know it's time, the timing with teaching timing and with the MCAS stuff, but if it can be looked at, I think it'd be great.
It's an important thing, and we'll
thank you
certainly refocus on that. Maybe we've slipped a little bit, but as you go around to the schools, it's clear our kids are taking pride in schools, and they're keeping the schools up. You just walk down the halls and you can see that, they're not littering at the school, and they're modeling that. But we'll work on that.
And I think if we can expand that into the city proper. I'm not saying that the kids are, but I just think that's the last piece we're missing right now. Thank you for indulging me on that. I know we had started, but then the pandemic threw us for a loop. E is Budget and Finance Committee. Mr. Collins?
We've dealt with the items and under the voting items.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Okay, hearing none. F is Vocational Education Committee. Attorney Murphy?
No report, Mayor.
Thank you, Attorney Murphy. G is Technology Committee. Vice Chair Naylor?
No report at this time.
Thank you. H is School Safety Committee. Ms. Gresham?
No report, Mr. Mayor. But I do want to say that DeBerry Homer School is looking beautiful. I don't know if you're there, but it's looking good over there.
I'm by it once or twice a week. Barbara, I know you're by it almost every day, so we're looking forward to the, and I saw retired Rep. Ben Swan at an event last week, and we're looking very, very forward to that on it. So thanks, Barb.
Thank you.
I is Diversity, Equity, Inclusion. That's Ms. Hirsch. She is absent. We'll move now to Student Representative to the School Committee. The second leg of the Triple Crown, Jaylene Hernandez from Central High is here. Jaylene, are you on? And thank you for your patience.
Yeah, I'm here. Hi.
How you doing, Jaylene? Welcome aboard. Great glasses.
Thank you.
Would you like to make some comments or an update report from the school? Or your perspective, if you have any.
Yeah. Something that I really wanted to talk about was, I know we have our phone pouches at school. At the beginning of the year, everyone was really opposed to them and whatnot. But personally, I've really seen a difference within the school community and within myself too. Obviously it was a hard transition, but I've definitely seen people communicating with each other more, especially at lunch times and stuff. Because the past years, I feel everyone was kind of just glued to their phones. But now people are talking to one another and getting to know more people. And I've seen that I've become more social myself with being able to have the opportunity to meet more people and talk to them. Yeah.
Jaylene, you hit a home run. That's fantastic, what you had to say, coming from someone who has to his experience and how it's been. Hey, in the beginning, we didn't like it, and it's worked out well. And the points you hit about interaction, socializing, meeting people, talking to people, getting to know people. So, wow, that was worth $1 million to us. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I don't know if there's more. You hit a home run already. If there's anything more you'd like to add to your portion of the meeting, you're more than welcome.
A few weeks ago, we had the Portrait of a Graduate event, which I attended. And I think that was like a very good thing to have, to be able to hear from different students from different schools and to be able to give the students like a voice in like the different things they see within their schools, and to be able to help future like students coming in and being able to better the system for them.
Very good. Anything else, Ms. Hernandez?
I think that's all.
Well, hold on. We might have some questions or comments of you. I don't know if any school committee members have any questions or comments.
Welcome. Nice job.
Well, we're going to give you a round of applause. Yeah. That was one hell of a job. We appreciate that.
And I'll tell you, the student input at that Portrait of a Grad meeting was incredible. So very, very deep conversations, and the input was terrific. So thank you.
Principal Tokars, if you're watching, Miss Jaylene Hernandez, tremendous job tonight. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll see you next meeting. Report of the superintendent. Superintendent Warwick, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Just looking at some of the data, and our attendance overall is up 2.7% from last year. So we're up over 90%, 90.2%. Not where we were pre-pandemic, but clearly we're making some significant gains. So we're moving in the right direction and coming out of this thing. There's some informational pieces in your packet. One about some of our volleyball players being selected to the All Western Mass girls volleyball team, and you have the players' names in the packet. Ariza Acum-Santo, senior at Central. Tiana Crichton, senior at Central, first team. Mie Hopper, senior at Central High School, second team. Then Class B, first team from Putnam, Rosalind Alicia. Second team, Layla Guzman, Christina Lopez. Layla's from Putnam also, Christina's from Commerce, and Aaliyah Pedraza from Putnam. So congratulations to the girls with volleyball.
Congratulations on that. Many a times it's our young men seem to get recognized more on it, so I thought it was important that we recognized our young ladies who are excelling.
And I think, with the way our girls' basketball program is going, we're going to be recognizing many people from that program too, because they're off to a good start. Yeah. So another piece that I have in your packet is William Pop Watson, yet another award, Gatorade Football Player of the Year in the state of Massachusetts. Now declared for Virginia Tech, but quite an honor after playing in the All-America game to get that honor. Another piece for us I thought was a great honor is our SciTech band. Yeah. Governor Healy had an inauguration, had our kids play 3 different pieces, and they just electrified the crowd. They were absolutely incredible, 200 strong, and they just did an incredible job. And of course, led by Gary Bernice, just incredible. But we call it the Pride of Springfield, and I was talking to Gary the other day and told him how proud we were of him and the kids. It was absolutely incredible, and the feedback we got was just outstanding. So very, very proud of SciTech, the band, and Gary and our kids. They really did Springfield proud. Another piece, to go back to what Barbara was saying, we had a school building commission meeting Tuesday, and we did a walk through DeBerry Swan, and it's really coming along well. We went through the entire building, and we're on target now to finish in spite of all the labor challenges and the shortage of materials that we're experiencing everywhere. We're really on target to finish, and it's coming along fabulous. So we're really making great progress. So we went through every floor, and it's really going along great. And given the challenges in this environment, I think it's noteworthy.
Just to make note of that, even during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, which, basically 2.5 years, we finished the Brightwood Lincoln, and we never stopped in moving forward on the Barry Swan School. We kept, the workforce kept going, even with the supply material challenges and the labor challenges. So I'm hopeful through the superintendent that we're going to be online to get those kids into the new school in the very near future.
We were guaranteed we're going to finish on time, and we're on budget too. And again, given the increased cost of materials and everything else, it's absolutely incredible.
And
So
that's local.
great job to the team.
Fontaine Brothers, local
Fontaine
construction.
Brothers, local
Very good
construction.
corporate
and
citizen.
Peter Garvey and his team have been incredible. And the last piece, there's a contracts report in your packet. If you have any questions, you can contact Pat Roach or I.
Thank you, Superintendent Warwick. Any
Thanks,
questions or comments pertaining to Superintendent Warwick's report? Okay, hearing none.
Question, Mr.
Yes, I'm sorry, Vice Chair Naylor.
Just a really quick question about the band. It just made me wonder, do we have a location, whether it's on our website or Focus Springfield, where we have videos of like the band where people can go and see replays?
I would think we do, but let me check. Okay?
I think it would be really great for us to Mr. Collins' point earlier, even with the schools, a lot of times people just hear the bad stuff. They never get to hear the good stuff. And I remember seeing the reports of the band, and it was just so, for me, watching it and watching the excitement of the young people getting ready to perform, it was amazing. But I think it would be even more powerful to have it somewhere archived where folks can always access and see. The young people can share with their families and friends, but giving us another positive thing that people can look at us for.
Yeah, I know they've had some videos, but we'll see what we have on the website as well.
They might have had something with the reopening of the new Marriott, Springfield Marriott downtown, because they played, we had them there playing there, but, again, playing at the inauguration of Governor Healy.
Two governors in a row, because
Governor
they did the
Baker
last governor as
and
well.
Maura
Yeah.
Healy now,
Yeah.
and tremendous biatch for that. Played at my inauguration a couple times, too. They're very, very good.
Yeah, outstanding.
Any other questions, Superintendent Warwick? Okay, hearing none. Unfinished business? Hearing none. New business?
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Collins?
I'm going to use new business for what it's intended for. We've got a lot of money out there for many different purposes, for doing curriculum and things. I'm going to make a request of the Vice Chair that we ask the Curriculum and Program Subcommittee with the department to explore the feasibility of creating a curriculum around the classroom portion of students getting their license. Years ago, when I was in high school,
I had it at Commerce, too.
we did it,
Emma Williams.
and every kid could have the option of taking that program. It's a great service to our citizens. It saves families money. Now, while we've got the money out there to explore things, maybe if you could have that committee explore doing that. So it's a request that you go that way.
We used, Mr. Collins and through Vice Chair Naylor, we used to have, I had it at the High School of Commerce, Emma Williams.
I had it at Tech, yeah.
Taught the instructional, then you eventually had to go on the road, or if you wanted, you could take separate classes, but we had that at the High School of Commerce.
Unfortunately, they've changed the regulations. The teachers used to be able to teach that. Now there's completely different regulations. So, yeah, it's very hard to do right now.
We can look at it.
Well, if we explore the possibility of certifying teachers, because I'm sure but if we can at least explore it.
It's all different. We have somewhat explored it, but we'll take another look at it. Yeah.
Doesn't hurt. If we can, we'll see.
Unfortunately, like everything else, they've made the regulations more difficult to do that, and pretty near impossible. Yeah.
Any other questions or comments? New business?
There's one other thing I'd like to bring up, and I think, Mr. Collins, we talked about it briefly, is having a conversation, and I don't know if it would go under subcommittee or what stage it would go on, but about us revisiting folks coming back in person. And I know that's something that, now that, maybe not now right this moment, but I think something that we should talk about doing in the near future, like what does that look like when we can actually start inviting people back into the chamber?
I think that's a good point. Okay. Any other questions or comments? New business? Hearing none?
Superintendent Warwick, this is Mr. Alves. I apologize for interrupting, but I was knocked out of the meeting just before the vocational part, and I didn't know if anybody had questions for me. And again, I apologize for
Oh, thank you, Joelle.
That's, Mr. Alves, thank you. I did indicate how passionate you are about it, and you'd be, I don't think you'd be surprised. It passed 6-0, so you're all set.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, so you can hammer away there. We're all set to go.
Yeah, great job on that,
Thank
Joelle.
you.
Thank you.
You sound just like School Committeeman Gonzalez. I'm looking at him, I'm going, he's a ventriloquist here. What's going on here? So,
I heard that too. I looked to the side.
Thank you, Mr. Alves. If there's no other new business, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Collins. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Gonzalez. Roll call vote is required. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Ms. Hurst, absent. Attorney Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes.
Mr. Collins?
Yes.
Ms. Gresham?
Yes.
Ms. Monroe-Naylor?
Yes.
Mayor Sarno?
Yes, more than sufficient vote. This matter passes. Good evening, and thank you for watching, and good health. God bless. Bye.